that no African country has its own executive director at the World Bank either.
No, unfortunately, we
Yes.
don't know how to manage money.
Welcome back to Visual Art Studio, and this is part two of my video. So basically, like the president, the first lady of Sierra Leone, will be discussing the current state of Africa and the relations with the United Nations. So let's hop into this video and see what she's talking about.
The United Nations and their specialized agencies, they all have governance structures that privilege some nations over others. I think we should be able to talk about that openly, and then we can talk about what to do about it. So in the United Nations in New York, there's the Security Council. Those are allies of the Second World War. Like, everybody should know this. Everyone should be able to say this. And everyone should be able to say that the time of that is over. We need to think about how to make governance more democratic. How do you get toward one person, one vote? How do you get toward the autonomy of individual countries? How do you get toward good participation, strong accountability, and then responsibilities for people? I think the way you started on working on reform for women and girls is a template that can be followed for many other issues. Do you think of what a next one might be?
One of the most serious issue I have with the United Nations is the fact that Africa, Africa is not part of the Security Council. We're talking about 52 countries, 54 countries, I'm sorry. 54 countries, a whole continent does not have one person representing Africa.
That has to show that they don't. It's not United Nations. UN is not made for Africa. Not even only Africa, but it's not made for poor nations. UN was made to protect the West, I guess, to kind of hold each themselves or protect the West from, I guess, attack. And I don't even know exactly, but the truth is, it's not made for Africa, right? So, like, I'm gonna let her go to dive deep into this part of it and to see exactly what she's talking about.
When it comes to decision making at the Security Council.
And I'd observe also that no African country has its own executive director at the World Bank either.
No, unfortunately, we
Yes.
don't know how to manage money.
Yeah, that's a perception. Not only that we don't know, but we are not allowed. It's not like we don't know. We're just not allowed to be given. So it's okay. I have an interesting theory about this, right? I just feel like the reason why the West is continuing to hold us down or hold us back, I feel like it's a sense of guilt. They are, I guess, admitted in different ways. It's like when you do somebody very wrong, when you do somebody wrong, and you know one day if that person become powerful or become stronger than you are, they would do what you did to them or repay, or pay back. That's what I believe the West is viewing Africa. Yeah, we did so much terrible things to these people from this part of the world. If and only if or whenever these people end up becoming rich and powerful and strong as us, who to say they're not going to do the same thing to us? Who to say they're not going to come attack us? Who to say they're not going to come destroy, do the things we did to them? Like, I genuinely believe those are the things that people on Western nations are very afraid of. That's why they will come up with every single techniques or method to keep us down.
I think I'll have to disagree with you.
And
I think, you know,
what do you want me to say? Because
think-
if that is the perception since the beginning of, every time an African come forward for something that they have to be a decision maker for the world, not just Africa. It's just not possible.
I understand.
So what can I say? There must be a
Well,
prescription somewhere that says, Africa, you are not good enough.
well, it might be revolutionary, but I'm going to say it right here. Africans should be in charge of Africa.
I believe that
That's being said to you. He's saying that, but the U.S. government do not believe that. U.S. government do not believe Africa should be run by Africans. No, like it's funny, right? Like one thing I realized as America, as like living in America, right? We are very I don't even know because we believe in this independency. We believe in sovereignty as a nation, but those beliefs are only limited to us. We don't want that to go to any other nations outside of U.S. So if you cannot be free and independent or sovereign nation if you are African or you know, so those things are not permissible. It's funny because one thing that we all hate as Americans or living in America, we don't like the government interference. We don't like government to get into our lives and tell us what to do for every little thing. It's like we hate it. A lot of people hate it. Even now, they continue to. Anytime the government wants us to do certain things, people do not allow because our founding fathers they did not. They made sure that's not part of the Constitution because they know exactly what happened when the government becomes very powerful to a point they can rule over the people. So they will use their power against the people. So, like I said, Americans in America are not fully represented by the government. The government had do what they do and make their own decision for their own self interest. Because if you ask most Americans, they believe the way they believe about independence and sovereignty, bro. They would not allow any other country to be under um to be suppressed in any way possible. So usually when you speak of a nation, make sure you differentiate the people from the government. Because usually we conflict the two and or even combine the two and say, okay, these two, since your government is doing it, it means you approve of it. No, a lot of things that we do to other nations, Americans are not allowed. They do not approve of it, but it happens. So like it's crazy.
that also that Africans issue can only be enhanced when Africans decide to do that. They should not allow
You
another
heard she
person.
said this should not allow another person. Allowing things is different. Like we allow a lot of things as Africans. We allow them to tell us what to do. We go with the things they tell us what to do without any challenge in it. You know. So the blame is on us. Like I said in my first video, we have to take accountability for the things that are being done to us and by us.
To give them a prescription of how Africa should look like or what we need in our Africa, because we know what we need in our Africa. No one will know that better than us. And I think the UN should see Africa as partners. And the United Nations, definitely, you cannot have 7 country vetoing everything. When it comes to Africa issue, it is those 7 countries. Who are the countries that are actually exploiting Africa? They're the ones who have the veto power to make decision on anything that has to do with Africa. So for me, I think that is wrong. And that is one thing the president of Sierra Leone has campaigned for. And this year, Sierra Leone is now a non-permanent member at the United Nations. But yet still, we don't have a veto power. But we're there. At least we're getting closer. And in these 2 years, our mission is to get the United Nations to see Africa not as one country, because that's the mistake they do. When you say I'm from Africa, they say, oh, you're from Nigeria. I said, no, Nigeria is one country in Africa. You know, we have 54 countries in Africa. So see us as a continent that also we what we offer to the world, Europe does not have it. What Africa gives to the world, Europe don't have it, America don't have it, Asia don't have it. Because we are not mining in China, we are not doing any mining in America or mining in Europe, but they're doing it in every part of Africa. Not just Sierra Leone, go to Democratic Republic of Congo, go to Botswana, go to Angola, go everywhere there is mineral resources. It is the West and the Chinese who are there.
To be honest, I am amazed I am amazed by the I'm amazed by the things that the West has been able to accomplish. By what I mean by this is that they are how is it that they are able to control and keep Africa under control for so many years, bro? How? I'm always asking it. I will always ask about this question. So how is this possible? Because I know for sure there has been a time where Africans do, or certain part of Africa, the countries in Africa wants to change the system. They want to change the status quo, but it's not being done. How are they even doing this? For them to continuously use the wrong word here, for them to continuously grape us of our own stuff, and no one stood up against them for so many years. I know we have had some leaders who are well known for fighting back, like leaders like Nelson Mandela, Patrice Lumumba, um, Thomas Sankara, Sekou Toure from Guinea, and Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana. You know, those leaders were once freedom fighters, but for some odd reason, they are all. I guess some of them died, some of them were murdered. So it's like, and the things that they tried to fight for still goes on to now. Yeah, it's getting better, but I genuinely believe the West is just, I don't even know. We have to study that. We have to study how they even able to do this for so long.
I think we need to work toward a future where those industries migrate toward the sources of production. So, like, you could imagine a chocolate industry that's not in Switzerland or Belgium, but it's in Ghana.
Yes.
You
Or
could
Ivory Coast.
imagine, yes, the most famous jewelry stores in the world might be in Cote d'Ivoire. They
Or
might
Sierra
be in,
Leone. We have the
might be
best
in,
diamonds.
they might be in Sierra Leone.
But guess
I,
what? We have the best diamonds in the world, but they call our diamond blood diamond. But I've never seen a red diamond, because if it's blood diamond, it should be red. We
Well,
have the
actually,
best
they
diamond.
do have a red diamond, but beside her point, the blood diamond doesn't even mean. I genuinely, it just means the way it's being extracted. A lot of people die for those things. Blood diamond means people would die in order for the West to put their hands on it. So if they have to kind of like, because it is sad, it is sad, bro.
Diamonds in the world. So I don't know what do we have in America. I'm just checking
you
so
know,
I told
it's,
you I came here to
yeah,
learn
No, honestly,
also.
yeah.
what she's saying, I totally understand. I mean, obviously, U.S. has like natural resources also, but one thing about the West, they like to reserve their stuff and use others. We have oil. Americans do have oil, but they'd rather not use that oil. They'd rather get it from the Middle East or some part of Africa. Also, we have like there's things here, but they like to keep it. They like to keep it reserved and then use the ones that they can get from others at cheaper price. I don't know.
Come on, you can't just be asking me. You give me some information to take
Oh, of
home.
course, I'll be happy to tell you things. You know, the U.S. makes, we have good beef here.
Beef.
Yeah,
Have you tested
we
our
make
cows?
we make computer chips.
Well,
We
well. Technologically speaking, U.S. is like well above everyone. Any, but that's not the point. I get it. I get it. That's not the point. The point is when it comes to natural resources, Africa is being raped by other nations. Sometimes even willingly because we don't fight back. So this is what it is.
we've developed the internet. I mean, there's lots of innovation. I think normal
Right.
exchange is normal. People learn from each other. They share products. That's a kind of very normal type of globalization where people have learned from each other. The extractive kind is what we need to move beyond.
Mm.
My aspirations, as I was mentioning to you, is that maybe we could imagine a world where the minerals that are extracted get refined, get processed into consumer products at the sources.
Well, first of all, for that to happen, you have to have energy. Now check how many countries actually have energy. And who gives energy?
I understand it's complex.
It's not. It's
You
not
know,
complex. It's very simple. We're making it simple harder. It's not complex. My my I guess my hierarchy of the solutions, my hierarchy of solution is very simple. First, Africans, the populations of the people in different countries of Africa has to be the ones to be. They have to know what they want. They have to stand for what they want, protect what they want, and uh, invest in what they have and invest in what they want. So those four things, I guess, is we as Africans have to be able to do those things. Expect the West to be the West. The West will come and exploit you, get the things they want from you. Either they get it by some form of scam or uneven. I don't even know how. I don't have the right word. Or they'll get it. Or will take it from you. So as Africans, we have to be the one to really say no to these things and yes to that. And the leaders that we elect have to be the one to be held accountable. Soon as they start getting off of what we want them to do, let it be known. Do not just sit there and sit still and allow one president, one person to control every aspect of the country. Be aware of your own constitution. Understand what's inside your constitution. To stand against anything you don't want it to be in that constitution. Like those things matters, and the world will be a better place once Africa discover or become what the potential they have or we have, right? And U.S., France, and other nations will continue to elect a puppet regime. We all know what happened in Nigeria when the president got kicked out with how France reacted. So we can see the nervousness in their eyes. We can see the fear that's in their heart of if Africa ever decide to be independent. Because right now, I just think we haven't made that decision yet. We're just going along, playing along the game. But it's gonna come a day where we will be like, no, we do not want this. If we're standing against this. So again, that's the end of my video for today. Thank you for watching. Comment down below. Tell me the things that you want me to react to, and I'm very honored and thankful that you guys come here to watch me talk about the things that we genuinely deeply care about as Africans. Um, again, thank you. Bye.